great place to be when you're very shy and timid because there's a lot of great stuff to hide behind out here.
You have a picture? Okay.
Over on your left-hand side, you're going to see the bongo. Bongos are nicknamed the ghosts of the forest. They like to hide in the back of the tree line, so you cannot tell that they're out there. Those horns at the top of their heads are S-curve shaped, so they can glide through the trees without getting stuck by anything. Alright, this one's going to be kind of a fast one, but if you look over to your right-hand side, so there's a tree that's kind of like Y-shaped, and then there's big bamboo patch. Right in between of those two, there's an okapi out there. Like I said, it's a quick one. The okapi may look like they're actually wearing zebra party pants, but they're more closely related to the giraffe. They have a similar skeletal structure to a giraffe, as well as a long prehensile tongue that helps them to grasp leaves. They actually weren't discovered by the Western world till at least 1901, mostly because people couldn't believe that there's an animal out there that was half zebra and half giraffe, and they were right because there wasn't. It was just the okapi. Out on your right-hand side at the top of the hill, that big black and white bird out there is a saddle-billed stork. They have a wingspan of about 9 feet. That is almost the top of the canopy across. They are partners. They do mate for life. You'll only ever see two. They can get pretty territorial about their space and their partner. On your left-hand side, you're going to see the black rhinoceros out there. Black rhinos do have a V-shaped look, which is prehensile. It just means that they can use it to grasp things. They're the smaller of the two out here on the reserve. They can get up to about 3,000 pounds. Those horns at the top of their heads are made of keratin, just like our fingernails and hair. There are some folks who believe that their horns are medicinal. They're not, unless you want to eat your own fingernails and hair. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the greater kudu out there. Those greater kudus are females. We can tell because they do not have horns on top of their heads. Only the males do, and they grow those horns about 6 feet tall. Alright, now we are going to head out of the little Aturi forest. Aturi in Swahili actually means little. It's a pretty small forest back there. We're going to start making our way over to the Safi River next. Safi in Swahili means here. This is where we are hopefully going to find more aquatic animals. Just over the bank on the right-hand side, you're going to see those big white birds out there. Those are pink-backed pelicans. They do get their name by the way they change colors during mating season, almost as if they're blushing for each other. They are colonial nesters. They'll nest anywhere from 20 to 500 pairs at a time. They've got a wingspan of about 6 to 9 feet. They are some of the smaller of the pelican species. Well, let's go ahead and sit down. Put your children down. This is still a moving vehicle. If I can see the top of your toddler's head, they're not sitting down. Sit down. Please sit down. Perfect. Over on your right-hand side, it's a little bit hard to see because they're down in the bottom. There is a Nile hippopotamus out there. Nile hippos can get up to 5,500 pounds. They do not float. They actually sink right down to the bottom of the water. They can hold their breath for well over 8 minutes at a time, so it means that they're not coming out of that water anytime soon. We're going to keep going down the pathway. We might see some more on our left-hand side. There does seem to be a little bit of traffic. There might be something in the pathway for one of the trucks up ahead, a little bit further down the path. Looks like we are going to get to see some Nile hippos. If you look towards the very last waterfall down there, you'll see them all hanging out together.
It's this
a group of hippos can be called a boat.
This sunscreen.
On your left-hand side, you're going to see the Nile crocodiles out there. Nile crocodiles have a powerful bite force strong enough to crush the bones of their prey. They weigh about 500 pounds, and they like to eat half their own body weight at least once a week. Let's make sure that we're fully seated the entire duration of the ride, please. Right now, crocodile can get as long as a giraffe can be tall, so they can do it from 16 to 20 feet long. Once again, please remain fully seated the entire duration of the ride, or it becomes a safety concern and I can't stop for any more animals. Talk about crocodiles without talking about alligators because we have links to talk about the differences between the two of them. It's subtle, but it's there. Alligators have a more A or rounded-shaped nose. Crocodiles have a more V or pointed-shaped nose. You can also see a crocodile's teeth even when their mouths are closed. That's fine. Smile crocodile and later alligator because you won't see the teeth till later. You can find alligators in North and South America, but you can find crocodiles all over the world, including saltwater. They do need fresh, clean water to survive in their natural habitat. So the next time you visit a lake, ocean, river, or spring, make sure to clean it back to yourself and folks around you. Every single person on this truck alone picked up 10 pieces of trash. That would be over 400 pieces of trash that would go to the proper recycling and waste bins instead of being in our waterways. It doesn't just help those crocodiles, but it most definitely is a bonus. A group of crocs out of the water is called a bask. When they're in the water, they are called a float. Now we're going to have to wait right up here for just a moment as we wait to go into the next area. It is going to be the savannah. It is a wide open plain where the animals are able to roam wherever they would like. Sometimes that means in the middle of a pathway that is okay. It's their home. We are just visiting them in it today. We are going to make our way around the entire savannah just so that we can have the best possible chance of seeing all the animals that are out here today. It is pretty warm out here right now, so some of those animals are Some of those animals are probably hanging out in shadier parts of the reserve. Like I said earlier, we'll make our way around, so try and get to see all of them. Over on your left-hand side, if you guys look towards the den out there, you are going to see some African painted dogs laying down inside of the den. African painted dogs do get their name by the way they each look like an individual work of art. No two are the same. They are part of the canine family. They do have 4 toes instead of 5. They often get mistaken for a hyena, but hyenas are actually in a class of their own called Hyenidae. Continuing to look around to our left-hand side, you're going to see sable antelopes out there. Sable antelopes are going to be some of the only antelopes in the entire world to choose the fight over flight. They'll lean their heads back, poking anything that's getting on them from behind so they can stay protected. They also like to use those horns for courtship and dominance as well. Now we are passing some termite mounds out here. They are made of dirt, mud, spit, dung, and sand. They get formed and baked by the sun. They turn rock hard. The animals out here can use them as scratching posts. Not my first choice of material, but definitely someone's number 2.
What? Alright, then I gotta wait for her to go. My eye is killing me. I'm catching it all on the video.
Side giraffes keep kind of going in between and out of the road around the other side, so it might take us a few minutes to get out to them. If your eyes are good, amazing. You can look out to that right-hand side. There's a very tall antelope. They're kind of like towering over the bushes out there. But it's called an eland, and they can get to 6 feet tall just at their shoulders. 50% of their population lives on protected land. They're one of my favorites out here, partly because when their joints click when they walk, so they can find each other when they're walking through tall grass. That is one of my favorite things to hear out here. Now, as we come around the corner, we're going to get a real treat out here too, my friends. You're going to see the wildebeest up on the hill. Wildebeest get their name from the Afrikaans word for wild beast. That's a Dutch island. 1.5 million of them will migrate anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles in a year's migration. Now you are going to see a Maasai giraffe laying down out there on the right-hand side. This is a rare treat, my friends. It means that they feel absolutely safe and absolutely comfortable, because otherwise giraffes don't like to do anything sitting down. They have a long prehensile tongue. It's about 14 inches long. It's a purplish black color. There is a theory that it is that color so they don't get a sunburn from pointing their tongues up to the sky so much. They like to take 3 to 5 minutes standing naps throughout the day, totaling about 30 minutes. They also do not sit down to give birth. Those baby giraffes have a 6-foot drop to contend to, as well as being 6 feet tall from birth. And you are going to get to see that baby out to your right-hand side on the hill as we pass. I have to go nice and slow.
Yeah.
You're also going to see the Hartman mountain zebras out here. They have extremely large hearts that help them to pump their blood when they are in the mountains. They've got an extra flap of skin under their neck. It's called a dewlap. It helps them to stay cool for really long periods of time. Kangaroo zebras can be called a tassel. Up on the hill, you're going to see some springbok out there. So that's more called an antelope. Springbok get their name on the way they spring or punk into the air. They can spring up to 6 feet and as far as 13 feet. They do secrete a sweet smelling oil from a flap on their backside to communicate with each other when they are in danger. Now we're going to start making our way into elephant country. Our landscape is going to change on us quite a bit here. It's going to be less of a wide open plain. There is going to be some restricted coverage out here. African elephants have been forging a path for themselves for quite some time now.
Go around the corner.
There's one more place to look before we go on to the next watering hole.
Not a lot.
There we go. African elephants have those big, beautiful ears that just so happen to be the shape of the continent of Africa. They can cool themselves down by about 15 degrees. Put your kid down, please.